Hey, everybody in Santa Fe, everybody looking in on a Tuesday. We are making progress with COVID, but I'm still wearing my mask. I hope you are too. We are not out of the woods. All the data are telling us that there's progress, but we are not yet where we need to be. We're in the green. We want to get to turquoise. I got a couple numbers for you. Yesterday, we had 9 new cases. The day before that, we had 4. Before that, 11, 15, 17, and 12. So the battle is far from over. We know this is a week where we're getting more tourists in town. I've asked the police chief to make sure that the face mask ordinance is being enforced. If people don't have a mask, we'll give them one. We want people to stay safe. At the same time, we're making progress on the vaccination rate. These numbers are from the Department of Health's data registration on keeping tabs on vaccination. 31% of the folks in Santa Fe County have had at least one shot. Almost 17% of us are fully vaccinated. 60% are registered to get vaccinated. So we now have 3 different vaccines. We've got options for those who are looking to get vaccinated. The pace is picking up. I think we're all hearing from the federal government. There's a lot more vaccine on its way. So please register at the Department of Health website if you have not already. When you do go out, vaccinated or not, wear a mask, use hand sanitizer, keep socially distant. Be aware that while we are opening things up and going to restaurants and checking out some of the old fun we had in Santa Fe, we're still not out of the woods. I was just reading this morning on a news feed in Europe. They're looking at a 3rd new spike. And in Germany and other parts of Europe, they're closing back down. We don't want that in our future. We are really making some constructive strides toward reopening. I'll tell you about that in a minute. But the key to reopening, the key to being in the turquoise and staying in the turquoise or moving completely off the color spectrum into a good spring and summer, it all boils down to COVID and getting COVID in the rearview mirror. So please, 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 when your turn comes to get vaccinated, show up promptly. If you're not yet hearing from the Department of Health, keep checking, look at the registration, wear your mask, stay safe. We've got to get out of green into turquoise and then begin to reopen. Let me tell you about a few things that are making me happy today. The first one is Madam Secretary Haaland. Deb Haaland is now the Secretary of the Interior. And it's a great day for her and her family and for all of her friends. It's a great day for New Mexico. It's a great day for the Native community. I'll just tell you one Deb Haaland story. Years ago, before I ran for mayor, I had a run at the Democratic nomination for governor. And I really had a phenomenal experience, but one of the best parts of it was that Deb was the running to be the nominee for lieutenant governor. And so we got to spend a lot of time on the road, going from county to county, looking for votes, looking for support, and listening to and learning from each other. And I can tell you that the woman we have now in President Biden's cabinet is as true and authentic and real as you could ask for. Her values are deep and they are honest. And I am just so happy for our country. I'm happy for our state. I'm happy for Deb that this honor and this opportunity have come her way because she always worked for others. She always gave of herself for others. And now all of that service is coming back so that she can be in the cabinet and provide even more leadership in a position where she is making American history. And that's very, very special. Let's see. Also, so that's a full stop. Congratulations, Deb. St. Patrick's Day is tomorrow. Whether you're Irish or not, it doesn't matter. I guess President is Irish. Mr. Obama on St. Patrick's Day would always put an apostrophe between O and Bama. So wear the green tomorrow. Let's wear something green and have a little celebration of the Irish spirit and the Irish history and the Irish tradition. I have some other things I want to share with you, just kind of headline news, things that are coming to my attention that I want to pass along to you. First, we got a report from our Santa Fe Police Department. They tallied up the crime rate in 2020, and overall, Santa Fe experienced a decrease in major crimes of 26%, with our homicide rate down 62%, assault and battery down 44%, larceny down 25%. I think we have a record there that is a good record. Obviously, we look at it in the context of COVID and recognize that it was a year that people stayed home, perhaps. That could have affected the crime rate. But nonetheless, to have a year where people are safer in their homes, in their workplace, that's a good thing. And we really give our great gratitude to the police department, who continue to respond to all calls night and day. They are really the 24/7 responder to every situation. That in mind, we have good news with staffing at the police department. There are 4 new lateral transfers moving into the police department. These are folks who have been in other jurisdictions doing law enforcement. They are moving into the Santa Fe Police Department. They can step into that role without having to go back to the police academy, so they are quickly up to speed. We have about 6 cadets now in the police academy. It was closed for a whole year when COVID was raging, and there were 0 cadets in the academy. And now we have 6. So when they join the Santa Fe Police Department with the lateral transfers, we will be up another 10 or so officers. And we continue to look for more people. So if you're interested in law enforcement as a career, if you are currently in a law enforcement agency somewhere else, we're offering a $15,000 bonus to sign on with our police department. We continue to try new things, to explore ways to take mental health, behavioral health, homelessness, and have police work with psychologists, social workers, emergency health technicians to respond to those circumstances in a way that allows our police department to be more responsive and quicker on the scene when it is something like a major crime that our police ought to be responding to. Big news is the American Rescue Plan, ARP. The city of Santa Fe stands to receive a little more than $15 million, $15.4 million, if that money continues to be allocated the way we're told it will be. We have a huge thank you to our congressional delegation for stepping up and making sure that with this package of funding, the money comes straight to the city. With the CARES Act, we are very, very grateful. The governor and her team awarded Santa Fe $17.5 million based on the speed, the strength, the swiftness, and the purposefulness of our response to COVID, standing up the Midtown shelter, sending our workers home to be safe and work remotely. The things we did to respond to COVID were spot on when it came to the governor's agenda. We passed a city mask ordinance, which we are unique in the state in enforcing. We have had the police department writing those citations, and Very few jurisdictions have done that. So the $17.5 million we got was largely a reflection of our intense, strong, and purposeful response to COVID coming right out of the box. Now this money will come directly to the city of Santa Fe. We're still waiting for direction from the Treasury Department on rules, regulations, and guidelines for that money, but it's good news. It's money that will be one-time money, so we can't count on it reoccurring. So we'll have to pick some targets of opportunity to use it where we know we'll get the most return for that one-time expenditure. We are also getting a very nice dollop of money from the state. The legislative session is winding down. It's in the last few days. I think it winds up on Saturday. And there is a bill that has the capital allocations, the dollars for investment in capital projects. If that bill goes forward, the city will once again have been very, very well served and given great productive service from the delegation here and from the governor and her team. It looks like we'll get $1.8 million for the Southside Teen Center, $1 million for our parks across the city, $1 million for Midtown and for site preparation and infrastructure at Midtown, and $1.225 million for district priorities in all parts of the city. We focused on making sure that the priorities in every district in Santa Fe could get funded. And so rather than going for one big allocation, we went for a number of smaller projects, and they were funded with the great support of our delegation, the Speaker of the House, the Senate Majority Leader, the Governor, all gave us the things we asked for. And you can't do better than that. We are also sprucing up the city. We've got a project going on called Spruce Up Santa Fe, and it couldn't come at a better time with daylight savings time arriving, with spring on its way, March Madness coming our way. We are finally in a position, as we come from green into turquoise, we'll be able to come out of quarantine, and we want the city to look good and feel good. We want everyone to be able to enjoy it. Parks Department is working hard on playgrounds and ball fields. The streets team has got the street sweeper out to clean up the inevitable stuff that gets left behind from a snowstorm and sweep it and clean it. Keep Santa Fe Beautiful is doing a fabulous job with the 50 or so medians that are under their watch. And again, we're seeing a ramping up of effort for all of our medians to make sure that the weed problem, which is a perennial problem, we all know that Santa Fe has a weed problem. This year, Melissa McDonald and her team are doing a great job getting ready to take on the task of weeds. I learned in a little press briefing we did yesterday that between March of last year and March of this year, Tomas Martinez and his crews filled 3,000 potholes in Santa Fe, 3,000 potholes. So we have some of the hardest working people in America when it comes to keeping Santa Fe looking good, feeling good. There's always more to be done. Coming in April, Keep Santa Fe Beautiful will be sponsoring the Great American Cleanup. You can get bags and gloves and masks and things to help clean up your neighborhood. If you don't want to wait, you want to do a neighborhood cleanup now, they can help you with that too. They are ready to go to work. Carol Branch and her crew, volunteers across the city, making Santa Fe the most beautiful, most lovely, most livable city in America. We should all just take a minute and think about that as we hit the spring, how gorgeous and beautiful our community is. We can always make it better. We can all pitch in. Don't throw that cup out the window. Put it in a garbage bin to be collected. Here's some other interesting and good news. I was on the phone yesterday with the leadership at Meow Wolf. Meow Wolf today is, I believe, their 5th anniversary. They're having a party for their employees. They're opening up, or they have opened up, over in Las Vegas. Denver is on the way. And here in Santa Fe, the real core of their identity, their business, the mothership is reopening. And it's on a COVID-safe basis. They have a whole set of new things they've installed to make sure that you can go there, enjoy it, keep your hands safe, use your elbow, use your smartphone to have the Meow Wolf experience. But they are so creative and so smart and so clever that we can't wait to see how Meow Wolf continues to evolve and grow and flourish even through COVID. They're going to come out of this with their creativity intact and probably renewed and refreshed as they've found ways to innovate around the limits of COVID. There's an amazing influx happening on St. Mike's, an office building that is around Pacheco, will be home to 500 LANL workers. These are people who do research. They are office workers. They are innovators. If you've followed what LANL has been doing lately, a lot of supercomputing around dealing with and competing, coming up with solutions for COVID modeling. If you read Barack Obama's book, there's a brilliant chapter in there about the oil blowout in the Gulf. Excuse me. There was a big oil spill in the Gulf, and the question about how to cap that oil spill landed at LANL, and they came up with a computer modeling using their supercomputing ability to put a cap on that oil blowout. Only at LANL was that supercomputing capability able to be brought to that problem. So they do a lot of different work. Descartes Labs is a spin out from LANL. Pebble Labs is a spin out from LANL. A lot of interesting science around making life more safe for people, around health. Pebble Labs has a number of projects they're working on to use science to take on health issues across and around the world. So 500 jobs on St. Mike's in the office there. I believe it is the largest single influx of a workforce in Santa Fe and in the city's history. A lot of people will be spending their time on St. Mike's and contributing to the economy come this fall. A couple other things I want to mention. Let's see, what else is on our hit list? Oh, a fabulous project. Shout out to the Santa Fe Green Chamber of Commerce. They have just published the first ever virtual digital magazine on buying local. It's a digital magazine published by the Green Chamber with all kinds of opportunities to participate in our green economy. It's paperless. You can find it. Let's see, where do you find this wonderful piece of work? I do not see the URL. Just go to the Green Chamber of Commerce website and check it out. It is up and running. It is a way to buy local. It's a way to use your money to reinforce our conservation economy and to help local businesses as we continue to go green, both staying in the green with the COVID challenge and in the green as we become more and more sustainable. Big shout out to the women's basketball team at UNM. They did not get to the big dance, but NIT is nothing to be sneezed at. So that's a good achievement under very, very tough circumstances to come through a season like that, make it to a national tournament. We'll be rooting for them all the way. It's a big deal, and we're very proud of that team for what they have accomplished and what lies in front of them with this tournament coming up next. For a Tuesday afternoon, that's a quick summary of where things stand. A lot going on as we reopen. So remember that we are both optimistic about reopening, but cautious about the spread of COVID. It's not yet licked. It's not in the rearview mirror. We have not yet gotten enough vaccine in everybody's arm. If you're like me, you're waiting for the call from DOH that it's your turn. When you get the call, show up and get the shot. Until then, and even after then, wear your mask, use hand sanitizer, practice physical distancing. If you see somebody not wearing a mask, you might politely suggest that they mask up. We are trying to be very mindful of the need to stay the course, go from green to turquoise, support our local businesses, our mom and pop shops, shop local, shop at our stores, eat at our restaurants. We love those people. They've made it this far. We're hoping that with some more federal assistance coming down the pike, there'll be more ways for us to get through this so that when summer rolls around, Santa Fe will be Santa Fe. Till I see you at the end of the week when we'll have Dr. Wendy Johnson back on from La Familia and a surprise guest appearance from a local business person. Till then, I want you to remember, please take care of yourself. Please take care of your family and our community. Stay safe, stay healthy, and all together, we will take care of Santa Fe, city we love. I'll see you on Friday.